up, Swig Squad? T with the diva here. Hey, y'all. I'm just messed up about Rich Homie Quan. Rich Homie Quan really is dead. Really messed my day up. Man, that was I love that song back in the day. Did a lot of just to live this here lifestyle. Came straight from the bottom to the top, my lifestyle. Yeah, R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan. I'm coming to y'all with a story time. This is the Office Chronicle. And yeah, it's the Office Chronicle. About how them just used to play me. They stayed playing in my face, man. Woo. One day I'm gonna come clean about the name of this shithole, but I ain't ready to come clean with it yet. But anyway, so this was about circa, let's say 2014, 2015. You know, I always gauge stuff between if my mama was still here and if she wasn't. She was still here during this time. And then I got a caveat at the end of this story that goes into another story. But yeah, so I'll tell that at the end. But anyway, I went to work a regular Monday through Friday, regular day. I used to care about what I wore to work. I made sure that I put myself together. I did not like going to work just looking like anything. I put thought and time to what I would wear. I would care about what I look like. So, needless to say, I used to go to work. A lot of days people would be like, dang, where you going? And why you always dress up for work? And, you know, stuff like that. But I just cared about me. I cared about what I looked like at work. And I just enjoyed dressing up for work. So anyway, my supervisor at this time was the young lady who I ended up texting and cussing out when I went out of town for Christmas Day year. And I cussed her out. I think I threatened her over text. Cussed her out or threatened her or whatever. But anyway, she wasn't the most horrible supervisor. Like, she had a bad reputation from the department that she came from, where she was before she came to our department. But dealing with the people that she would get her directives from, where her instructions of what to do from, because she would get her directives from a manager and of a director. Seeing her getting all of her directives handed down from them, she wasn't as bad as she could have been. Her reputation when she came to us was that she just was going to fire the whole department, and she was horrible, and they hated her from where she came from, and they probably really wanted her because they wanted her to fire me. Of course, that's everybody's agenda when they first start. That's what they're supposed to start doing. But it didn't work out like that because, you know, me and her ended up being okay. It wasn't like cool. I really didn't get cool with any supervisors because I knew what their job was. And, I knew that it was a conflict of interest. But anyway, she was my supervisor. And like I said, she wasn't as bad as she could have been. So I go to work one day and I have on a navy blue one-piece romper. A full short sleeve romper, navy blue with white specks. Not white spots because they wasn't round, just maybe white specks. Navy blue romper with just white specks. It was just a one-piece romper. I had on a navy blue blazer with white outline in the cuff of the arm of both arms down at the bottom. It was a white like ring around the cuff. I get to work and my supervisor later on in the morning says, she on you. She talking stuff about your romper. I said, what's wrong with my romper? It wasn't fitted. It wasn't too tight. She said that it was against dress code because it was a one piece. I said, but it's not like it's showing any cleavage. I was really good for showing cleavage. My shirts would be low cut, but this particular item, it was covered. It was a one piece romper. So I said, what is the problem with what I got on? She said, girl, you know she always gunning for you. I don't know. She just said a little something. She ain't saying nothing really right now. So I said, okay, whatever. So of course, word travels fast. So, people are hearing that, there's an issue. I guess, I don't know if she going around telling people she hate what I got on. It's against dress code. I'm against dress code. I don't know what she's saying as far as what she want to do, but it was a big deal. So at the time, my union steward was my beloved friend that passed away. I loved him. He was so sweet. He was so funny too. He was one of those people that people really liked. You really liked him, or he was a really likable guy. He was a really, really likable guy. He would be one of those people who would be like, oh, Gina, you look like you got a haircut over the weekend, girl. Look at you. And you done added some colors too. No, you didn't get some little streaks going on, Gina. You must got a hot day for the weekend. Oh, girl, don't hurt them, girl. Look at you running around here 55 looking like you ain't a day over 30. Sharon, where you get them shoes? Girl, you got a little heel on them shoes. Oh, girl, you heard them, Sharon, girl. What you trying to do? Oh, you trying to find you somebody this weekend. I see you probably gonna try to find you somebody on lunch, girl. Sugar, his favorite. Sugar. He called everybody Sugar. So he would compliment people. His whole greeting is a compliment. Oh, girl, I love that jacket. Ooh, girl, where you get that jacket from? Oh, you hurting her with that jacket on, girl. Oh, you know it, too. Look at you. Oh, you know it, Sugar. Look at you. Sugar, she around here with that sharp jacket on. And so, of course, ladies love compliments. So, they would just blush and we'd just laugh and, keep going or whatever. So he was like one of those people, full of personality. Everybody like even if you get into a little tisk with him about anything, it's definitely not gonna last long because he wasn't a grudge holder. He would in a minute be like, oh, Sugar, come on, give me a hug, girl. So he was my union steward. He comes over to me, girl, these people can't take you in your fashions. What is you trying to do to these people? You know she was going to be mad. You knew she was going to be mad when you put that on this morning. I'm like, what is they talking about? What is she saying? What is the problem? He said, girl, I don't even know. I don't know. I just done heard. We just going to ride this out. We ain't going to say nothing about it. Never been a part of a union. You realize that everything doesn't have to be discussed with a union steward. There are infractions or complaints that may come up against you that it just may be just a complaint, something that the upper management is just complaining about. This not they just having a complaint. Well, not with me. Everything had to go to a union steward because I didn't know where it would eventually go. So today, it might just be a complaint. Tomorrow, it'll be a suspension. So every union steward would know every time there was any complaint in relation to me, if it related to my dress code, whether it had to do with my dress code, my work performance, a tardy, something I didn't come back from lunch on time, or anything, whatever it was, it had to be discussed with my union because I didn't know where it would go and if they would need the details of that specific incident also. So I would have to keep it documented and they would have to keep it documented just in case. Everything didn't come back up, but most things did. So anyway, he came back up to me. He said, you know, these girls can't take you. And you know, you won't, because I wasn't the type of person. I'm not complimenting you. If you don't speak, I'm not speaking to you. I just wasn't that person. I was not one of those, you know, he was more of, I would say, a bootlicker. Because he would definitely kiss up to them, which would be to my benefit sometimes also, because the fact that he was able to kiss up to them would help me a lot, because I wasn't gonna do it. So, you know, he would do it. So he would come to me this day and he would say, I don't see anything wrong with anything. I just wanted to come over here and see what you had on, just in case it went anywhere. So I wouldn't, he said, I just wanted to, you know, just know what it is, just in case I had to vouch for it later on. Because they was good for bringing some shit back up that was all over with and we thought was buried and dead. They was good for just bringing it back up just off GP to see if they could do something about it at a later date. So, sure as shit, that later on that afternoon, probably a little bit after lunch, a little later in that, maybe about 2 or so, 2, maybe 1 or 2, he came to me and he said, girl, come, girl, we gotta talk. You got a minute? I said, yeah, I got a minute. What's going on? He said, girl, she tried to put that mess on paper. I said, why? What is it for? What's wrong with what I got on? He said, not nothing. And I told her, I said, unless you could show me something in some documents that show me that she's doing something wrong or she's against the code. And so he said that she said something to him about it was up to the discretion of the director or management or something like that. And he said, well, that's objective. I said, well, come on now. That's objective. He said, now, it don't have to be nothing documented that say she can't put it on because it's a one piece and it fit. And, you know, I mean, you know, I was shapely. I was about 20 pounds lighter than I am now. I was shapely, small waist. My stomach is small and wide hips. And, you know, I mean, just shaped like a African American girl. And he said that it was a distraction. And he said, a distraction to who? He said that she said it was a distraction. He said, a distraction to who? Now, let me give you this. So there was a young lady in our department who had lost a lot of weight. But the way that she was shaped is she lost the weight. I don't know if she had a surgery or she, you know, worked to lose it, even though all of it is work. But I'm not sure what she, you know, did to lose weight. But she lost a tremendous amount of weight. However, the way that she was built up, she was short, probably about 5'1", 5'2", but she had a very, 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 very large backside. Her rump was very, very large. And I said this is 2014, 15. So we talking about well before BBLs. She did not have a BBL. She lost a lot of weight, which, you know, insurance will pay for a tummy tuck and skin removal from different places once you lose a significant amount of weight. So she had a really big rump, a small stomach, a small waist, and she was small everywhere else except her backside was huge. Her backside was enormous. And like I said, this is before BBL. This is pre-BBL. So this was all her because she was a big girl at first. And then she lost all this weight. So I'm assuming that this is just the way that her family is built up. But I say that to say, clothes automatically. She wore fitted dresses. She wore fitted pants. Clothes would fit her, you know, if you want to say tight. She could be disturbing to some, but nobody said anything to her because they liked her. She was a part of the in crowd. So he brought her up and he said, she's not a distraction. I mean, that she seems like she would be a distraction too, right? Oh, well, she said, I don't pay attention. He said, oh, you don't pay attention to what she wear, but you make it a point to make a pay attention to what Tanisha wear. And she said, I just happened to run into her this morning, and it just looked inappropriate to me. And he said, well, if we don't have anything in writing, if there's nothing in documentation that says that, I mean, without it being at the discretion of management, then we're not going to be able to do anything, because if you do something to her, then I'm going to have to watch this other one over here who is just naturally built like that, another African American girl. And he said, and then I'm going to have to bring up items of clothing that she wears, and I'm going to have to say that those are disturbing to me because of how she's built. So he was like, girl, she foolish. She just foolish. She just wants something to get you on, and she just want it. She just want to be able to just pile up on, but not on my watch. It's not going to happen on my watch. And I was just like, that's just another one of them times I just shook my head. And it's crazy because I don't even think, a lot of times stuff will happen, and as big as my mouth is, I would just tell people because I would be tripped out that it really happened like this. But I don't even think I repeated this to nobody else. If my supervisor at the time repeated it to other people, then it was cool. My union steward, the guy, he probably said something to some other people because, you know, he was like real gossipy too, but not to like harm me or anything, but just saying like, ain't this a trip? This is just, it's a shame that you really have to deal with this. Anyway, nothing ended up happening from that. Thank God, because, you know, he went in there, he was able to diffuse the situation. However, our yearly reviews, my supervisor, the same girl, she goes to do my review, my yearly review. She calls me to her desk. I go to her desk, and she's doing my review. So she's telling me, you know, explaining different parts to me, and then she goes and says, and I gotta add the dress code to this. And I said, what you mean you gotta add the dress code? She wanted to add that I go against the dress code often. It's a consistent issue. I can't remember how it was worded, but it spoke to the fact that I'm always against dress code. And she tried to put that in my review, my yearly review. And I said, wait. I said, you ain't, She said, well, she told me I needed to add this. I said, no, you cannot do that. I said, so why is it, have I ever been written up for it? Is it anything that, I mean, I think it was something like we couldn't write you up, or I said, okay, so how you gonna put that in my review? I said, you can't put that in my review. I go get the same guy who was my union steward. This trying to put in my, I went and got Sugar, and I told Sugar, come on. They trying to on me, and they want to put this in my review. He said, come on now, this a work, this about work. So we go into a meeting, and I knew, you know, I could tell it wasn't her. It was a directive. It was her being told what to do from higher up. And because she couldn't even explain it. So I could tell, because that was another thing. They didn't like for her to tell anybody like, oh, they told me, such and such told me to write you up for this. Like, they didn't like that. They wanted you to say that it's your, you know, that it was your idea. So my union steward, like, he said, Sugar, come on now, Sugar, you know you can't. He said, this is about work. You can't do if y'all gonna do something about if y'all don't like what she got on, y'all gotta make this known in her everyday work. It gotta be in writing. She gotta be verbally told. And then was it she couldn't wear that outfit or that item, or was it she just can't wear no more clothes? Like, do you have a list of clothing that you don't want her to put on no more? Do you want, what is it? Is it the green pants? Was it the white pants? Is it the blue pants? Like, you can't just put that in her review and then she put the outfit on tomorrow. We haven't rectified anything. He said you have to be able. He said this is her yearly review. This is talking about how many times in a year she's been written up for production. How many times this year she's had an issue with quality. How many times this year she's had to go back into training. How many times this year she's had to be spoken to about this and this and this. If she hasn't had to be written up and it has not been documented that her outfits, we keep telling her not to wear these outfits and she keep wearing them. She's being insubordinate about this wardrobe. She has buttons popping every day. He said they saw a kind of mess walking around here every day. It's all kind of dress code violations walking around here. How many people is you adding this to their yearly review? And she like, I don't know how many. I mean, she the only one on my team. He said, no, she's not gonna be on she's not gonna be going on your team. He said all this mess walking around here. People roll out of bed and throw anything on their back and on their body and come in here and talk about it's time to go to work and ain't nobody said nothing to them about the dress code. He said y'all bother her because she looked nice, she dressed nice, and she got a nice shape. That ain't her fault. If y'all gonna write somebody up, write her mama and her daddy up, because it ain't her fault. It's her mama and her daddy fault. Now, we ain't gonna start this. We not putting this on nobody's review. And I don't want to keep seeing this. I don't want to see this on nobody's review because this ain't something that we supposed to be fighting. Reviews are for work performance, work ethic. If she gets along with everybody, if she's getting along with you, it's not about her dress code. We not gonna do that. We not gonna do that. So supervisor say, well, let me go tell her and see what she said. So she went and I guess she went and talked and we ain't hear nothing else about it. But what we was laughing at is when she said, let me go see what they say. So that lets you know she didn't put that in there on her own. She was directed to add that to my yearly review. And I would love to know, what did they think I was going to say? I always had an opinion about stuff. I never was like a pushover. So how did they think that I was going to let that fly? Like, he said, now, if y'all want to start documenting what she got on, what y'all don't like, and what she got on and telling her not to wear it no more, he said, we can do that. Nobody ever said nothing else. They would complain, and I hear rumors, but it was never, ever another dress code issue. But this is just, of course, another instance of how they would just want to pick me apart and not say nothing else or about nobody else or nothing else that nobody else is doing. Like he said about the girl with the big rump. He said, I see stuff that she wear. And I might say, hey, whoa, it catch my attention. But I don't think she should be written up. I mean, that's her body. That's how she's shaped. Like, she can't help this. What is she supposed to do about this? And it was just always stuff like that going on, y'all. That was my story time, my Office Chronicles Swig Squad. Thank you all. I am so appreciative of you all. Thank you all. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will continue to bring you the content. This is Tea with the Diva, and until next time.